Welcome to When Spirits Speak with Steffanie Damboise. Steffanie has always been gifted, but it wasn't until her 20s that spirit began guiding her to her new path, being led from one piece of the puzzle to the next. Steffanie found herself moving from meditation to mediumship classes. Join her now as she connects you with spirit and past loved ones and teaches you how to tap into your own gifts as an empath, healer, and intuitive. Now your host, Steffanie Damboise.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to WSMN 1590, Nashua's Radio Talk News. You are listening to When Spirit Speaks with me, your host, Steffanie Damboise, Psychic Medium, and I have my friend here, Erin Dickson with Gravity Life Coaching tonight.
Hi, Steph. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Erin. Yay. Thanks for being here. So here we are. We're going to chat with you guys today about Erin's work and how I met her and how she got where she was or is, I guess, and what she's doing with life. We're going to kind of cap on last week's topic of goals and lists and what we want in life. I'm going to talk about some of the other stuff I've been doing, and we'll just go from there. So When Spirit Speaks is the name of my show, and I wanted to just kind of bring you to how I met Erin. So When Spirit Speaks is literally, like I was saying, I follow spirit with whatever I do, whenever I do it. And this past April, last year, actually, I can't even believe it has been almost a year, I guess. It's January. I was looking to build my business finally, and I was like, I want to be a psychic medium for real. And I asked, like, maybe, I think literally only one friend, but maybe I asked a few friends, and Erin's name came up, and I called her. We chatted on the phone for an hour or so for her discovery calls that she gives potential clients, and I fell in love. In not a weird way. I try to attract people, like myself and who are awesome. And Erin definitely fell into that like a list or hole. I don't even know. But yeah, we kicked it off, hit it off. And then, she has a 12-week program, a business coaching program. And I was like, sign me up. Let's do this. So I was going to see, Erin, if you would just chat about how you got to where you are, a little bit about your business coaching for everyone.
Absolutely. So it actually started in a life coaching way. Actually, I have a 12-week life coaching program and a 12-week business coaching program. And how that started was a little bizarre. It actually started out when I was going through a bit of a life struggle, maybe 9 years ago, I think we go back. And I was single mom, 2 kids, and just felt overwhelmed all the time. I had a full-time job as a school counselor, but it was just overwhelming, being a single mom, 2 kids under 3, and I needed a change in my life, and I wasn't quite sure what that was. Mm-hmm. So I had one friend, that was it. I had a friend who introduced me to the book, The Secret, and The Secret is based on the law of attraction. Did you talk about that last week, Steph?
We did talk about The Secret last week, and Alyssa and I just love it. We couldn't, just one of the things we rave about. But I personally, I think I watched it about 10 years ago now for the first time, maybe, when I was at a bad place in my life as well. And somebody brought it to me. But yes, we chatted about it a lot last week.
Yeah, so that's how it all started. So I started just by reading the book, The Law of Attraction, watching the video, and thinking, like, this is a little out there. Like, I'm not really sure I believe this. So basically, your thoughts create your reality. And so if you make your thoughts intentional, you're creating your reality, your own reality. And if you're not making your thoughts intentional, then everything happens on default. So your life occurs on default, basically. And that's where I was at. And I needed to change. So I decided, well, what harm can it be to try this out? And I did notice shifts in my life immediately simply by changing the way that I was thinking about my current situation.
Yeah.
And so I got really excited about it. And I brought it into the school that I work in. And I started using it with students. And what was really funny is when I used to talk about career with my students, I would basically feel like, looking back on it now, was kind of a crappy guidance counselor, because I would like make them set their bar low, because half the class would want to be Tom Brady,
Right.
in their future. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and the other half wanted to be famous singers and actresses. And I would be like telling them the statistics about like how unlikely that is.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's not like it's, I don't want to say normal, but I feel like, you can't kick yourself, for something looking back on it now, like, right. I mean, like maybe you can, but I feel like that's like, I don't know. I get what you're saying though. I get what you're saying.
So looking back on it, that's really how I used to work with kids, is keeping them practical, teaching them to just be realistic instead of just having them set the bar high and encourage them that, oh, you want to be Tom Brady? Like, go do it. Like, what do you have to do today to get there? Like, what do you need to be doing right now? So it's not really just about your thoughts. It's about taking inspired action. And I started talking about this with students, and I started teaching it to students. And one question that really shocked me was I would ask students, raise your hand. I would say, raise your hand if your parents are happy in their careers. And like 2 kids in the class would raise their hand.
Yeah. And what age was this again?
6th grade.
6th grade.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, so what kind of example am I setting for my kids? Would I raise my hand and say I was like super excited about my career? And how many parents out there, how many adults out there are living a life that's comfortable, but they're not really excited about?
Right.
And that's where the seed was planted for the life coaching, because I had this vision at that point that I wanted to not just reach the students, but I wanted to reach the parents too. I wanted to reach the adults. And because we have these adults who are not setting their bar high, who aren't excited about their life, and their kids are seeing this.
Can see it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it just creates this cycle that we're living a life that just by default, we're not living out our true purposes. And so that was the process that started me down this path. And it was really funny because I had a school counselor friend who literally just called me one day and she's like, oh, I didn't sign my contract next year. I'm becoming a life coach. And I'm like, well, what are you? I'm like, seriously? You have a mortgage. Like, why would you do that? Right. Yeah. And so it was her, actually. We had kind of gone on somewhat of a journey together, learning about these things. And she was further ahead in the journey than I was. And I hired her to be my coach. And that's where my idea came, that I could do that too, and that I could become a life coach. So that's how the life coaching started. Mm-hmm. And so I started the process of putting that into action. And I set the intention that I wanted to do that. I wanted to create this business. And I didn't know how to juggle it with my school counseling.
Yeah, because you were still working at the time, right? You're still working full time.
Yeah, I was working full time at the time. And the strange thing is I put the intention out there. What if I was a half-time school counselor? Like, what would that be like?
Yeah.
But if anyone out there is listening, you know how schools work. Like, it's not, you can't just choose the way your position goes.
Yeah.
But I did.
I feel like for most jobs, I mean, like, I guess not most jobs, but I was thinking the exact same thing, not to interrupt you, but when I was when I was contemplating like changing careers, like right when I like found you, and starting to maybe be like, I never in a million years thought that my job would even talk about part-time. So, but I did put it out there.
Yeah.
So continue with yours.
And then set the intention.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So I set the intention. I started talking about it. I started telling people like, oh, maybe I'll figure out how to make this position half-time, which other people in the school would not agree was a good idea, because, our role was pretty important.
Yeah.
But our administration at the time ended up moving my position to half-time, and I hadn't even spoken to administration about it. I was the one that got moved to half-time, and it was crazy how it was all falling together. And I'm like, okay, this was supposed to happen. So I started focusing on my life coaching business. As then I'm getting into it, I'm like, I'm a life coach. I love doing that, but I have no idea how to market myself because I'm too nice. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm too shy.
I was gonna say, or everybody just wants, I don't want to say something for free, but it's tough when you're that nice and you're like, okay, cool, I'll help you, and I'll help you, and I'll help you.
And
which is an amazing thing. I don't want to sound horrible saying that out loud, but.
Well, girls got to eat.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. No, we have to pay our bills.
Yeah. So that's where I was at. And I'm like, well, I don't know how to market myself. So at that point, I actually hired a business coach, but I actually bought her program. I didn't hire her. I paid for her program. This really, all those ads come up on your Facebook, and this one really stood out to me. She was super genuine, authentic. I'm like, okay, this is a kind of person that I could buy from.
Yeah.
So I bought her program, went through that program, and started learning a whole ton about creating business. I mean, there were tears there. It was insane. And it was around that time, it was shortly after that, I think, that Steph had contacted me. And before that, I had had a lot of people asking me, how are you doing this? They'd look at my website and be like, how did you get that to work? Or how do you have 500,000 views on your Pinterest account? Or how do you do this and that? And I was excited to share that with them. And one day, a friend of a friend had contacted me and said, I know someone who's looking for help with her business. And I'm like, that's interesting, because I'm thinking of also doing some business coaching. And so when Steph contacted me and said, yep, I want to hire you, I'm like, oh boy, I guess I got some work to do.
Yeah. I feel like I seem to be that person for people. I'm like I don't try to, not in a bad way. I'm just like, hey, so I heard you do this. And they're like, well, I was just thinking about it like yesterday. And then I'm like, well, cool. So you're going to do this? Like, are we going to do this? Okay, cool. Like, I had another friend who does classes, and she was just thinking about getting one together. And I did the same exact thing to her. I was like, okay, cool. So she like wrote the whole 3-day like class because I was asking her to do it. And I signed up for it, and I did her class too, and it was amazing. But
you are powerful, my friend.
I try.
There you go.
Because right? Well, maybe I'll do it myself one day, but.
Well, it all starts with a seed. It all starts with the thought, right? And then you can either go down the path of that's just not possible for me, or you can take the road of, but what if it were? What would that be like?
Yes. And Alyssa and I talked last week about just setting those goals, writing lists, and like if there was almost, and we know when I say part of your module 1 in a little bit, it'll talk about that. But like if nothing, if you could have anything, what, like write down a goal, anything, just write it down.
Yeah.
You never know.
And a lot of people don't know even what that goal would be. And so that's where sometimes I work my life coaching. I work with women who are feeling stuck and they don't know what they want often. But if you start with what you don't want, you get to what you want awfully quickly. And the thing is, we all know what we don't want. We all complain, right? I know I do. Yeah. I know I was like super complainer today, So we all catch ourselves doing that. And if you know what you are complaining about, then you shift it to what you do want. And that's how that process would start.
Yes, exactly. And I started, and I try to tell people most times, like when you're starting this process, like I watched Secret 10 years ago, so it's like, it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, not that it can't by any means, but it's a process. You're thinking, you're putting those thoughts out there, you're catching yourself when you're having that negative thought. And then, you're like, oh geez, okay, nope, I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking negative thoughts, or I'm reacting differently to negative things. I feel like that's really part of the secret in that, this attitude, this life, I don't want to say life adjustment, but that's what it is. A life change, life adjustment, just really trying to focus, right?
Absolutely.
Focus on the good things, I guess.
Absolutely. Because when you start focusing on the bad things, you're going to see more of them. When you start focusing on the good things, you see more of them. Do you know that there's a statistic out there, and I don't know how they figure this out, but 80% of our thoughts are negative. 80%. And of those 80%, I think like 90% are repetitive thoughts on autopilot. I was sharing this with students today, with third graders. So I'm like, you guys can change this.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
Amazing.
You have the power to change your thinking.
Yeah, that's amazing that you're like, not that I didn't think about teaching it to like really young kids. Obviously, it's an amazing thing to strive for, obviously, because they're at a whole different like level. Obviously, I'm sure they're not thinking 80%. I don't know when that statistic starts, obviously, when they start to work probably and try to pay their bills.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's amazing. I have to stop saying it's just insane to me when you really start thinking about what you actually want and you write that list down and your mind starts changing where you can get. But all right, folks, we're gonna take a little break and we will be right back.
Baseball legend Henry Aaron reflects on his Hall of Fame legacy.
I think that since I played for the public, they need to share what I did in my life as far as baseball. It's the proudest moment of my life to give everything to the Hall of Fame. I often tell people they need to get and see it. There is no other building in the world like the Hall of Fame in baseball.
Celebrate the game. Celebrate the legacy. Connect with Cooperstown at baseballhall.org.
Title Boxing Club is the best and only authentic full-body boxing workout that changes your body, clears your mind, and completely engages your spirit. Our signature workout utilizes the fundamentals of a true boxer's workout, including proper heavy bag training to strengthen and tone your arms, legs, back, core, stamina, and your confidence. Empowering, exhilarating, and totally addictive. This is your new favorite workout class. Visit them online at TitleBoxingClub.com or call 603-206-5608. That's 206-5608 and begin today.
I never get the flu.
My kids don't need more shots.
I don't have time.
We're all healthy.
My asthma's under control. I'm pregnant. I've had the flu. It's not a big deal.
My kids are too old for
Media
flu.
is
I
exaggerating.
can fight it naturally.
No matter how you build your excuses, the flu can blow your house down. Keep your foundation strong. Vaccinate. Learn more at flu.gov.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Cancer is a big idea for a small child.
She dreams of being a figure skater. We're trying to figure out what to do next.
Each school day, 2 classrooms of children are diagnosed with cancer.
The doctor said there's hope.
I'll be brave, Mommy.
If I could just take her place.
It's okay, Daddy.
Only research cures childhood cancer. Give today. You can help fund this life-saving research to conquer childhood cancer. Visit curesearch.org today.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back, guys, to When Spirit Speaks with your host, Steffanie Damboise, and then my friend and business coach, Erin Dickson with Gravity Life Coaching.
Thank you, Steph.
You're welcome. So I love this girl, this woman. Sorry.
Right.
We connected and instantly we're like, we're besties. So then 12 weeks later. So I just want to talk about module 1 of your Gravity Life Coaching. So we've been talking about setting intentions and life and what you want. And not that I was in like a dark place by any means in week 1, module 1 of your Gravity Life Coaching, but I definitely needed some things to change. You know, we chatted a bunch. Erin, if you sign up for her Gravity Life Coaching, business coaching, she really just helps you. You chat about life and what you want with this woman who's been through it, and she knows and she can help, which was beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. So it was like week 1 was like, I don't know if I actually cried with you on the phone or anything, but I feel like I did, just you're talking.
We can tell that story.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's
I mean, I cried a sad commercial. It's not like it's like a secret or anything. So module 1, the sentence I'm just going to read, I wrote it down for everyone. But she talks about the law of attraction a lot from The Secret, which is what we've been talking about. And then the question in module 1 that Erin asks, and it really makes you think, is if money, time, age, gender, education, and or socioeconomic status were not factors, what would your ideal life look like in each of the areas below. So relationships, health, finances, career, fun and leisure, and spirituality. It was just this crazy thought. And it's not even like it's anything like earth shattering by any means, but it was still just like, well, you know what would I want? What would I want to do? What would I want out of all of those things in my life? And the house one, I think I even wrote like, I wanted to live in a mansion and I want to hear the waves crashing up on the rocks while I sit like on my porch and drink my coffee.
Will you invite me?
Yes. Oh yeah. It's going to be a lot of parties.
Can we have wine?
Yeah. Wine?
Wine.
Yes, definitely.
Not coffee.
Oh yeah. We can have both. Okay, if you're there all day.
Okay.
Because you slept over from the party. So, week one after reading that, it was amazing for me. I mean, just something so silly. And then you think, and then you're writing them down. And I was in a bad relationship and I needed to be, you were like, literally, I was like, I need to be single, and I know we chatted about that and I was like, okay. So I wrote it down. I want to be single.
And she said that. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
That came from you.
Yeah. No. I said that. Yeah.
But what's interesting is a lot of clients will be like, well, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have done this. And I'm like, no, that came from you. You just didn't know it was there.
Yes.
So a lot develops from this. So it's interesting. Steph came to me for business coaching, but a part of my program is like, looks at every aspect, because it's not ever just about one thing. It's not ever just about business. If your business is not succeeding, there's a reason for that, and it's typically another part of your life that's affecting it, like your mindset, for example. Yeah, or a relationship that you're in.
Just everything. And I've always said, like, when my when my eating is right, like when my eating is good and my money's good, like the rest of my life's good. Like, just for me, that was my balance. Like when I can control what I eat and control my spending, then like everything else just falls into place. Excuse me. So yes, exactly. So I wrote down those things. And then on top of that, I wanted to write like, I did write giving back, like charities. So that was kind of just my add to like all of those things, like, because I feel like that just also makes me feel good about myself, giving and doing more and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, week one was like, it's, you needed the week to do it. You do each like module each week and really like sit down and think about what you really want, like really want. And then, you go over each week, we would revamp all that. It's not like I think I even wrote in pencil. I don't even know. So I could actually just be like, okay, so week 2, you're in a whole different spot.
Well, it's funny because what I see with a lot of people that go through the program is they start out with really kind of small goals. And then even in the next week, you'll hear them say, I can't believe that just happened. Like that just became real. So if I know that I'm capable of doing that, then I know I can try this next thing. It's like that inspired action thing. It's momentum.
Yeah, exactly. I don't say it's inspiring, but it was crazy. Yeah, so you're listening to WSMN 1590, Nashua source for news and talk radio right now. You're with me, your host, Steffanie Damboise, on When Spirit Speaks, and my guest here, Erin Dickson from Gravity Life Coaching. And then right now we're going to keep chatting, but we're going to do some live call-ins. If you would like to get a medium reading or a card reading from me, and the number is 603-816-1590 if you'd like to call. And we are on Facebook Live too. If anybody is on Facebook and wants to find me there, it's Steffanie with 2 F's. And then you'll find me, Damboise Psychic Medium. Yeah, so the list, week 1, module 1 is almost like the life-changing week. For obviously, like when you sign up for your life coaching, or business coaching, sorry.
Well, it's
or
fun.
Either or. Yeah. It really was. And I didn't even realize, and even just fun, leisure, relaxation, taking care of yourself, like everything, like we were talking about, the whole circle of stuff that has to do with everything else.
And the crazy thing that happened for you was this girl was planning trips to Ireland, like that you didn't have originally. You're like, well, someday I would like to do that, or someday I would like to do that. And next thing I know, I'm going to Ireland next week.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. I think I wrote it on because right at the end of each week, Erin has this, the last page of each week is talking about same sort of thing. Like if you had all the money in the world kind of thing, like I forget what it actually says, but like, what would you want to do? And you have to write 4 things, and mine are always like travel places. So it's always like travel to Ireland, travel to Denmark, travel. I think mine were always travel ones, but, and I kept writing them every single week. And yeah, I ended up going to Ireland last October. Like, I don't want to say on a whim, but I took another class, Akashic Record class, because I do Akashic Record readings as well. So I do private readings at my house, and I could do home parties. Actually, Erin had a home party for me. I went up to her house and we did a home party, the whole group of people, and did like a gallery event. So it was fun. Yes, thank you. So I did the Akashic Records class, and then somebody talked about where my soul is the happiest, and somebody said Ireland, or I said, I felt like it was Ireland, and it was like done. And it's crazy to look back and see that I had written that like every week on my, where do I want to do? What do I want? What do I want?
Well, the funny thing is we let excuses get in the way of our dreams and our goals. Like you can always let excuses. I have a million excuses for like why I don't get up at 4:30 and work out. Like, there are 4 kids in the house, and I have 3 jobs, and I'm really busy. That's just all really basically code for you don't want it that bad. So if there's a big goal that you have, like traveling to Ireland or whatever it is, you really need to clear out the excuses and look at them as, can't do it, or you won't do it.
Yes. And then even I'm going to England in April, and for a class. I'm taking a class out there at the Arthur Findlay College. And I was like, you know what? I feel like I might go to Scotland for a few days, fly into London, stay there for a few days, go to my class for a week, and then shoot up to Scotland. And then I was going through my paperwork before this meetup here, before I had you on my show. And I saw that I'd written that I wanted to go to Scotland on a lot of the weeks that I never even like thought that I'd ever written.
So how did it happen? Like, how did it progress to actually booking the trip?
The Ireland one was, I was at that class, somebody said it, I looked it up, and it was round trip for like $550, and I was like, done.
That's how it happens. Because you set the intention, you take the inspired action, right? You start looking, and then the universe brings like cheap deals for you.
Well, I flew to Idaho one time for $700, and that's like my now that's just my bar for flying. Like if I go to Idaho for $700, okay, now I can go to Europe for like $500. I'm gonna just buy those all day long.
Absolutely.
So just in my mind, it was just a no-brainer. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I have no idea how the rest of it's ever gonna work out, and I'm like, but it's going to. And I just keep doing it. Like I joked last week that my friends keep like making fun of me because they have no idea. She's like, she never even works, and she's going on all these trips. I'm like, you guys, I work. But yeah, it just looks like I don't work a lot.
Not hard.
But, yeah, I know.
Because you love it, and if you love what you do, it's not hard, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I have to set my own schedule, and I can sleep in because I love to sleep. So yeah. So again, if you're just tuning in with us, you're with Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium and When Spirit Speaks, and my guest Erin Dickson with Gravity Life Coaching. And we are doing live calls. If anybody wants to call in, it's 603-816-1590. Call in and I can give you a medium reading or a card reading.
I'm getting ready to call.
I know, right?
I want one.
Yeah. Your party was funny. I remember the first person that came in was like this guy or something, and he just kept talking about this like 1972 something. I'm like, it's this car. It's this like Cadillac or something. And Jeff, I'm like boyfriend, husband. I was like calling him several different things. He was like out of the other, like into the, like in the kitchen or something. So I wasn't really there. And I kept staring at him like, I think it's for him.
He was not engaged.
No, he wasn't.
Was purposely out of the picture.
Yeah. So then I'm like, I look like I am horrible at this job. So, and then I'm like, all right, fine. I'll just get to the next spirit. And then eventually this old man comes back, this old dead man. And then I'm like, are you sure it's not yours? And like, and then he was like, no, I mean, he did have a 1972 Cadillac. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm glad. Good. All right. Well, now I got the right guy. Let's finish this guy out so I can not have him haunt me the rest of this reading.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, but yeah, so I know I'm getting sidetracked, but yes, life-changing 12 weeks with Erin. And you can still, and I still go back, and I was actually printing out your, the weeks, they're just workbooks and you can do them over and over again. And I just keep printing them out and just like redoing them.
Evergreen access.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like, okay, I'm like a printer and I like to write out in front of me and see what I'm doing. And I was just doing them again. I actually just went back. So now I'm at about, because she talks about a lot of stuff actually I wrote down. I know I keep putting my head down here. I'm chatting. She has some of the other ones are financial abundance. She talks about she helps you out with your branding your stuff, a whole social media, how to market yourself on social media. One of the other modules is just managing your time. I mean, she has a whole bunch of different things to help you along the way.
And that's in the business coaching program. My Stepping Stones, my life coaching program is different. That focuses more on module 1's the same, but it focuses on financial abundance again, but we also have things like relationships, gratitude, different things that you can incorporate into your life. And after you go through each one, you see pretty significant change.
For your life coaching one?
Yes.
Yeah. I can imagine just even in the 12 weeks that I did it, obviously, what in the change that happened. I'm actually on Erin's website, and is it gravitylifecoaching.com?
It is.
I'm one of her peeps. I'm one of her reviews, and every time I read it, I actually am like, oh my God, that is actually me.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's like I read it and I'm like, this person has to be lying. Oh wait, it's me. Well,
I feel like that is how it works, though. I feel like, again, we set our bars really low and we don't think it's possible. And then once you see a little bit of evidence, you start getting momentum, and then you're like, wait a minute, I am capable of that. And then you start attracting things, right? You start attracting ideas. You start attracting money. You start attracting whatever it is that you're looking for. Opportunity. I mean, can I share what happened when I signed up for my Life Coaching Institute program? Are you cool with that?
I don't remember, but go ahead.
Oh, no, it's a good one. You're going to want to hear this.
Yeah,
good.
Cool.
All right.
Like dementia. Roll with it.
Okay.
Like, I'll remember like after you said it. Like, oh, yeah.
No. So when I first decided to be a life coach, I thought I had to go get my certification, which you don't really have to do. It's just like a piece of paper, basically. But where I had the counseling background and stuff, I still felt like I needed to have that certificate.
I feel the same way too.
Yeah.
I get you.
So I went and I signed up. I'm like, I'm just doing it. I'm going to jump in both feet, because at the time I was actually getting life coaching. So I was totally motivated. So I signed up for this thing. It's $800. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. It's not going to come off my credit card for another 6 months. I'm good. I'm good. So I go ahead, charge it to my credit card. And as the time is getting closer, I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't like set aside a budget for this. I'm not sure I can pay this $800, which it was a substantial amount. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot for me. At the time.
Definitely.
So, it's a good amount. So as we're sitting at the table, Jeff and I are sitting at the table, we're paying bills, and I say to Jeff, I don't know what's gonna happen with this. I said, I'm not sure I can afford this. I don't know what to do. And he's like, well, I can help you out. I'm like, no. I'm gonna attract this money, but I'm going to attract it from outside the household. And he's like, oh, okay, Erin, you go do that. Good luck. And let me know how it goes. So sure enough, the next week I think it was within the next week, I had gone to see my coach, and I told her, I said, I'm waiting for a check for $800. I don't know how it's going to come, but I know it's going to come. And she's like, of course it is. And she believed in my belief. And I was like, okay, we got this. Like, I'm nailing it. That very day, I swear to you, that day, I get a call from the Life Coach Institute of Orange County, is where I went. And there were trainings all over. I signed up for one in Boston. I wanted to go to a city because I live in a very small town, and I just wanted to challenge myself to go to a city. And so I signed up for one in Boston, and they're all over the U.S. And she calls and she says, I'm really sorry. We had to cancel your training in Boston because not enough people signed up. And in a split second, my heart sunk. But in the next breath, she says, but we are willing to pay for you to go anywhere else to take this training. That was my $800. That was my free training. I get to so I go to New York.
Chills. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I go to New York, a bigger city. I'm super excited. And I share this story with the other people there. And I share this story with everybody else, and I discover that I am the only one, and they discover I'm the only one that got into that program for free. And everyone's like, how did you do that? I'm like, I was the law of attraction.
Right.
I used it. I set
happen.
the intention and I took action to make it happen.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So it was good times.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take another break, guys. We will be right back.
Paralyzed Veterans of America, National Service Officers.
We've got an entire generation of men and women who have seen war. They're going to need voices. They're going to need advocates.
Paralyzed Veterans of America is here to help.
We're going to make sure that the Veterans Affairs gives them everything that they're entitled to.
Get all the health care they need.
Making a person's house adaptable for them to go back home and live.
Education benefits.
And we also focus on getting them a job.
And if something happens to the veteran, then, we're the spouse's advocate.
We help our veterans for free.
The way that Paralyzed Veterans of America does that is through their national service officers that are located throughout the United States.
Our work is important because people depend on us.
And they know when they come to Paralyzed Veterans of America, they're going to get the right answer. And they know that we are there for them 24/7. Because we are.
Changing lives, building futures. That's Paralyzed Veterans of America. To learn more, visit pva.org. A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
You feel like you've been benched or sent down to the minors? Are you paying the correct amount of child support? Let a team of experts help you out. That team is Bardis Law. There is nothing more important in your life than your kids. You wouldn't cut corners for them? Don't cut corners on your legal representation. Don't show up without your starters. Going to court without an attorney is like playing without a coach, without a playbook. Let Bardis Law get you back in the huddle so we can call the play. Call Bardis Law at 603-420-8588 or visit www.bardislaw.com.
This is Ludacris. Being a teenager can be tough, especially if you feel alone. Whether you're having a hard time or just thinking about leaving home, the National Runaway Switchboard can help.
Call 1-800-RUNAWAY or live chat at 1-800-RUNAWAY.org.
All right, I've gone through all the tracks. Just move through the beats. Do your thing.
All right, everyone, let's hear it for West High's own Brooke Turner, a.k.a. DJ Hook.
Scratching at my first school dance takes confidence. So getting into college, I've got what it takes. So do you.
Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Tony Joyce from Joyce Cooling and Heating. Now that winter is here, hopefully your heating system is working. Did you know that a 30-year-old heating system can waste up to 50% of its energy? Don't you think it's time to upgrade your system to a new high-efficiency Lennox, Mitsubishi, or Rinnai? Starting in January, you may qualify for these energy rebates of up to $1,500. These rebates are available for a limited time, so don't wait. Call Joyce Cooling and Heating at 882-4244 or on the web at joycecool.com.
Hi, guys. Welcome back with Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium. Wow, I can't even speak. Your host tonight on WSMN 1590, Nashua Source for News and Talk. And I have my friend here, Erin Dickson with Gravity Life Coaching. She's fixing her hair.
Thank you.
I can see her on Facebook Live. She just can't see herself. You look beautiful, Erin.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So today we've been talking about God, I'm like, where am I right now? We've been talking about her life coaching, business coaching. It's a 12-week course. We were talking a lot about module 1. Sorry, my earring's like poking into my ear. Okay, so we were taking some live calls as well. So we have Kathy on the line.
I think.
Hi, Kathy. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Hi, this is Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium. Thanks for calling in.
Sure.
Perfect. So we're going to do a quick, quick medium reading for you.
Okay.
Is that okay? You called in for medium reading?
Yep, that's right.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to put on some music just for a second so I can kind of like connect with your spirit past loved ones. So just give me like 2 seconds here, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Joey. So, okay, Kathy. So you very quickly here. So these are like a little quicker readings on the radio. I have this gentleman here for you. Okay. So he's telling me and he came really he jumped on in real quick. So I'm hearing 60s, passed away in his 60s. I do keep hearing the number 68. So when I get numbers, it can literally be his age, or it could be the year 1968 or June 8th. You know, there's several different meanings.
Okay.
He keeps really like talking about his heart and his chest with, I guess, I'm not exactly sure if that's what took him, but I feel like the lungs, I feel like slowed him down breathing wise.
Okay.
And he's talking I feel like he has like a cigar in one hand and like, I don't want to say a cane, but like it looks like a cane to me, but not like an aluminum cane, like it looks like it's cool. Like it looks like it's a neat looking wooden one. Does it make any sense at all to you?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's okay. I tell people to just write it down. Cause like next week you'll figure out who he is. He is telling me a B name. So I heard the name Brian. So when I get names, it just is a man with a B name or a last name that starts with a B.
Okay.
And sometimes it doesn't exactly have to be the spirit that I have. It could be somebody related to him that's living, just to kind of kick you in the right direction.
Okay.
And yeah, so his chest and his heart are really some issues for him. So right now it's like I'm feeling this like tightness around my own chest as I'm speaking with you. And it really is making it like difficult for me to even almost talk. So this gentleman definitely had some heart, like chest issues happening with him. Sorry, to the point.
And it starts with a B. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. So I heard Brian. So just a man with a B name, or a last name that starts with a B.
Okay.
And that 68 number came up again. So that he's just, when they say things more than once, it just means that it is important to them. So I do think it might be a year like 1968 that he's speaking of, because I heard him say like that was a good year.
Not ringing any bells.
That's okay. I heard a word in-laws, so I'm not sure if you're married or not, but I feel like it's he might be an in-law to you.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm divorced, so I don't know.
Okay, yeah, of course, right. One of my exes, like dead family, stalks me all the time. So to the point where I'm like, you need to go. I'm just going to get a few more things for you then, Kathy, and then I think you'll eventually figure out. I kept hearing like brother-in-law even, so you'll eventually figure out who he is. But let me get you a few more things for you from him, because I trust that spirit comes through for a reason. So one sec. So he really is a character. He keeps like hitting me with his cane, like not like beating me with it, but like he's just, kicking my heels with it, or and he has this like cigar in the other hand. And I'm going to say like cigar in the left hand and cane in his right hand, if that makes, he's telling me to say it that way. I'm not quite sure why, but that's how he's telling me to tell it to you. He looks like he has gray hair. Even it'd be like dark gray, but it kind of looks like a little disheveled. It doesn't look like it's like he tried to put it in place. And even as he's talking to me, he's kind of just like, he didn't really care what he looked like. I don't say people didn't like him, but as he's kind of saying it to me, he's just, he did what he wanted,
Okay.
So
yeah.
I'm not sure if, that's how he's putting it to me. Like he had friends, but I'm sure he had to really get to know him, how he's saying it. Like crass is just the word he keeps kind of saying to me right now. That's a kind of
Crass.
like crass. Is that
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
like he was a crass kind of old guy. He's referencing like the postal service or stamps or envelopes or something like that. So I feel like that was either a hobby but I feel like it's kind of more like what he did as a job.
Oh.
He just looks a little hunched over, and I feel like it's kind of, that was also what it was from too, like hunching over and like sorting mail. Like, what am I trying to say to you? Sorting mail.
Okay.
To the point where like he keeps referencing, I think it's your mailbox he's referencing to me. Have you been having problems with your mailbox or your mail?
I'm having problems with my mail, yeah.
Okay. So and I got the chills. So that's too funny. So he is saying like it's driving him insane that your mail is being messed with, because that's what he did, right? Like that was his job. So he just keeps saying you need to like call the mail company or where, I don't even know where to call, but postal. Thank you. I'm like, what am I saying to you? My mind I get so much information that I can't actually eventually speak. Like, what am I saying?
Yeah.
Words. It's annoying him. Like, that's why he popped in. It's annoying him that your mail is getting messed up, or there's a problem with it. So he's like, you just have to call someone and, but he's saying like, call and be stern about it. If that makes sense. Like, don't, just actually call it, mean business when you call.
Yeah.
To get it all worked out. Kind of a silly message, I guess, but that's just to get you like that he's around you. I mean, I'm hearing like Uncle Bob, and I know I already said the B name, but I heard like Uncle Bob that time for you. And you didn't have to, I tell people sometimes, you didn't have to know them very well on Earth for them to come through in spirit, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
A lot of my family, I only saw once or twice a year, and I am closer to them now in spirit than I ever was when they were on this Earth. So just for all my listeners listening as well. I just do feel like this gentleman is with you a lot, or more than you think.
Doesn't say why.
Sorry, I'm asking. He's talking about, I feel like there's like random flowers that keep popping up on your property. They look like they're like tulips or something. To me, I'm not the best with my flower guessing, but it looks like they're just like, come spring or something, unless you have a new property or something like that. But there's all these new different flowers that keep like popping up.
It's my favorite flower, but that's...
Oh, good. No, that's good too. Okay, because I keep just seeing them like growing out of the soil. Like, I feel like they're in places that you didn't plant them though. So that's kind of what he's showing to me. But he's showing it to the fact because he's trying to make you smile, because he wants to make you like happier, I guess, to see these tulips and then to smile. But I feel like they're planted like outside I feel like they're near you though. Like, so you walk past them like daily. Maybe they're near the mailbox. I don't know. I was just making that up. I'm not sure if they are or not, but that was just funny.
So this is like, is this in the future or is this?
Yeah, like I'm thinking like in spring, like this coming spring. Like I feel like I'm seeing these flowers like bloom. So, and I feel like they're like, I don't know if it's like a new property or something like that for you, but I just feel how he's showing it to me is like, and then they're showing me my house like every year. I'm like, I swear to God, I didn't plant those last year, and all these new flowers keep popping up. Like, I'm not sure how they got there, but, and I have a cherry tree in my yard. Like my uncle passed away, and the next year it bloomed. I didn't even know it was a cherry tree. Like 8 years later, like something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's
okay.
Neat. Yeah.
Like
I need a new house, so I'm looking.
Okay. Well, I feel like perfect then, because I feel like you're like walking down this like path to the driveway, sort of thing, like from the front door or something. And there's just like I just feel like it's lined with tulips. So maybe don't start looking till spring. So you can see. I don't know. I'm just kidding. So you can see these tulips someplace, but he just keeps referencing the mail for you, which I know sounds silly again, but I hope you're writing all this down because he's talking about that too. But he keeps going back to those tulips. So he just keeps saying that he's sending you those a lot. So, and then when people send you signs in the physical world, it doesn't have to be like a literal flower. I tell people you could see it on a license plate, like the word tulip written out. You could see it on a, like on a picture someplace. You could see it on a side of a car driving past you or something, a truck, or in a name or something like that. So I have faith that you will figure him out. For sure. I'm not even worried about that. But the chest thing is a problem too with him, because he just keeps tightening my chest. So whenever you figure him out, that was definitely something that was a big problem for him. But Kathy, I'm going to leave you with that.
Okay.
I hope that was okay. Write that down and then get back to me. I love when people tell me if they figured out who I have or had.
Yeah, that's neat. Thank you.
Yeah, and good luck with the house search. I hope there's a lot of tulips around it.
Oh, me too. I love tulips.
That's awesome. Good. Thanks, Kathy.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Yeah. So that was a good call with Kathy. We have a few minutes left for the break, so we'll just chat with Erin here. You're listening to me, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium, and my friend Erin Dickson with Gravity Life Coaching.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for being here tonight. It's been good so far. Almost done with 1 hour. Crazy. We talked a lot about, your module 1, your 12-week program. I'm amped about it. I took it. I've retaken it. I've redone it. Now each week is just so different. I feel like there's just so much to learn from the program. People who do take it from you, I tell them it's awesome, and then it's like I had to take each week slowly, and then then I went back to the branding week, and I was like, I'm gonna find this one because now I've got my logo made and I need to start branding myself. And then right now I'm trying to do some passive income for myself and make some classes. And what else do I want to do? It's on my lists. Maybe teach some classes. I don't know what I'm doing, right? So it's on there. So I need to go back to that module and start rereading it again and see what I need to do.
And sometimes you'll go back through the modules and come up with a totally different plan.
Oh, I'm sure. Because when I first started week 1, I had a full-time job and everything else. And if for my listeners who didn't know or don't know, I did quit my full-time job in April of this past year. And then they actually let me go to part-time, which I never thought would happen. Then I did that till about June. Then I literally had no job for no, I worked part-time in a bar, but and then they offered me, I went on a whim, quit my job, wrote it down, and then that night, almost like your free class thing, that night of my last day, the bar called me and they were like, hey, we have Tuesdays and Wednesday nights available. Would you like to take them? And I was like, yes.
Yep.
Yes, I would. Thank you. So
you took inspired action.
Yeah, just gave me that flexibility. It's okay, cool. So insane. I can't even, my sister was like, you are crazy. I have no idea.
And look at what's happening now.
Yes. I know. I can't even believe I have my own radio show.
You do.
I have my guests on.
You do.
I do. Which wasn't on my list, I keep telling people. But, I mean, I was rolling with it. It's so much fun. And I just feel amped and blessed to be here. So yeah. So we're almost done with hour 1 here. We're going to be taking a break soon. So again, you're listening to When Spirit Speaks with Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium and my guest, Erin Dickson with Gravity Life Coaching on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk. We'll be back in a little bit, guys.
You're listening to 1590 WSMN Nashua.
USA Radio News with Tim Berg.
Bail is set at $5 million for Jake Patterson, the man accused of kidnapping 13-year-old Jamie Kloss in Wisconsin. Patterson made his first appearance in court today, and his attorneys didn't argue against that bail. Former D.C. homicide detective and Fox News contributor Ted Williams does tell Fox News he was surprised Patterson's attorneys didn't ask for one thing.
Some kind of a psychological evaluation, because quite naturally, what they are probably going to use at some stage is the insanity defense.
President Trump was in New Orleans on Monday speaking at the Farm Bureau Federation Convention, the 100th annual. The president says he loves the farmers.
We are fighting for the American farmer, and we are fighting for the American dream, and for the products made and grown with pride right here in the USA.
You're listening to USA Radio News.
Hi, folks. It's a holiday season with hope in the air. Things to look forward to and no time for despair. Health can be a challenge, and so can the mail. So Get the Tea wants to help you by giving you a sale. Buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month for free. No limit. That's buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month free. That's a savings of $35. Where? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Scroll down on the front page and find the buy 2, get 1 free ad. Click it and save. Orders over $100 get free shipping. Send the gift of life. Change tea at GetTheTea.com. We have many non-GMO organic supplements just waiting for you. This holiday season, enjoy health and Thanksgiving with GetTheTea.com. Want to call us? 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. GetTheTea.com is a proud sponsor of doing what's right. That's GetTheTea.com.
A new study is linking belly fat to shrinking brain size. USA Radio Network's Chris Barnes has the details.
The research published in the journal Neurology finds the people they studied who had a high body mass index had slightly lower brain volumes, and those with bigger bellies had lower amounts of gray matter in their brains. Gray matter being that contains much of the brain's nerve cells and controls things like muscles and senses. Researchers say it's not clear if differences in brain structure led to the obesity or if the obesity is what caused changes in the brain.
General Motors is already catching a lot of grief with the announcement that they will shut down 5 plants and lay off thousands of employees. Now, the latest thing that has folks up in arms is that they're bringing back the Chevy Blazer only to build it down in Mexico. According to Michigan Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, GM is already the most disliked company in Washington. This is USA Radio News.
With a recession ending, if you've been putting off building your business, now is the time to act. General Steel will meet or beat any price on a pre-engineered steel building of the same size and specifications. Act now before steel prices go up. So call us today for free information.
Call 800-965-1290. 800-965-1290, 800-965-1290.
President Trump blasted FBI leaders over a report that the agency launched an investigation into the president to determine if he was a Russian asset after he fired FBI Director James Comey back in 2017. Republican Congressman Peter King tells Fox News he's shocked if this in fact did happen.
What I've seen and heard, if this is true, what the FBI did is absolutely disgraceful. They have been investigating the Trump campaign from the summer of 2016. Absolutely nothing, zero had come up involving President Trump. James Comey told that to the president. The reason President Trump fired Comey was Comey refused to say that publicly, that the president was not under investigation.
Congressman King continues.
For the FBI to use that firing, that legitimate firing, as an excuse to launch an investigation of the president of the United States as to whether or not he was a spy, that's almost like a coup within the government. I mean, that is absolutely disgraceful. To have no evidence at all and to be investigating the president of the United States is, to me, what this does, this is not an indictment of President Trump. This is an indictment of the FBI leadership, and it proves, I believe, what President Trump has been saying all along about the bias at the top of the FBI that was against him. Whether it was Comey, McCabe, Strzok, Page, all of them, Baker. Fact is, they were against President Trump, and they were abusing police powers of the government to go after the duly elected president. Absolutely disgraceful.
For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
It's 25 degrees. It's 9:05.
Welcome to When Spirits Speak with Steffanie Damboise. Steffanie has always been gifted, but it wasn't until her 20s that Spirit began guiding her to her new path, being led from one piece of the puzzle to the next. Steffanie found herself moving from meditation to mediumship classes. Join her now as she connects you with spirit and past loved ones and teaches you how to tap into your own gifts as an empath, healer, and intuitive. Now your host, Steffanie Damboise.
Welcome back, guys. Good evening, guys and gals. I always say guys. You are listening to When Spirit Speaks with Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk. And I am here tonight with my friend and business coach, Erin Dickson with Gravity Life Coaching.
Hi, Steph.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We've been chatting about her 12-step program, and I'm cracking myself up.
Actually, I called my life coaching program a 12-step program at first, and I'm like, wait, I can't call it that.
Yeah, so 12 modules, 12-week program.
That's good. That works.
Yeah, so but before I get back into that, I wanted to just talk about quickly, I have a charity event that I am involved in. It is called Lori's Ride. It is a motorcycle ride that I do every year in memory of my dear friend Lori, who passed away in 2012 from metastatic breast cancer. So Lori's Ride is, I think this year will be the 15th annual. Yes, 15th annual. So we do that every year, but now we've been doing vendor bingos and they've been fun. This is our second one coming up this Sunday for anybody who would like to go and help us raise money for the New Hampshire Breast Cancer Coalition. It's this Sunday at the American Legion in Hudson from 1 to 4. It's $10 to play bingo for one pack of cards, or 5 for $40, I believe is what we're doing. We have a whole bunch of other raffles. There's a lot of pink. We all wear a lot of pink for my friend Lori. It's a bunch of fun. We laughed a lot last time. Just simple, fun time. And the New Hampshire Breast Cancer Coalition does actually help women right here in New Hampshire that can't pay their bills while they're going through chemo. Fortunately, my friend Lori was able to work full-time when she was getting chemo, but a lot of women aren't able to. So it's a great organization. We try to raise a bunch of money so we can get Lori's Ride just going strong every year. So again, if you are able and willing and want to come play some bingo, the whole point of it is that you win, there'll be 10 or 12 vendors there, and each bingo you win one of the vendors' prizes. So it's kind of fun. And then I'm going to be raffling some free readings if you're interested. So I'll have a bunch of those there. So anyway, so this Sunday again, 1 to 4, American Legion in Hudson. It's Lori's Ride vendor bingo. And you can also find the event on Facebook. So on my page, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium, or just my page, Steffanie Damboise. So yeah, and that's that. And then the other thing, I just wanted to say congratulations to my brother Scott and my sister-in-law Kimberly for their newest addition. My littlest niece, Autumn Rose, was born this morning at 12:15 a.m. So I'm an auntie again. So number 11 for my family.
Wow.
11th grandchild.
That's intense.
Yeah, she's so stinking cute. So that was exciting. That was this morning. I stayed there a while. I was like, come on, baby. She didn't want to come. But now she's finally here. So anyway, those are my updates for my life and where I'm going. So yeah, so last week I pulled some cards for everyone. I'm going to do that again this week. So I'm just going to shuffle the deck here. So if you're just tuning in again, you are with Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium, When Spirit Speaks on WSMN 1590. And I'm here with my friend Erin Dickson with Gravity Life Coaching. You can say, I was like, you can say hi again.
Hi.
So I'm going to pull some oracle cards. I also do cards as part of my business. So I'm going to let everybody pick a card. So pick 1, 2, or 3. One fell out, so that's good. Last week, none of them would fall out, and I just had to pick. Oh, Lord. Okay, sorry.
You got a whole stack there,
Yeah,
girl.
I was like, that's far too many. I'm not going to pull 7 cards. Yeah, so in your minds or out loud, whatever, pick the number 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to flip one over at a time, and then we're going to just explain what they mean as we keep chatting. How do you feel about that, Erin?
I feel really good about that.
Okay. Number 3. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I got a little excited when it fell in my lap. Good. At least tonight, some of them actually fell out on their own, so that's fun. So oracle cards for me, the oracle cards are just a little more positive than the tarot cards. The tarot cards have the death card. Not that it's bad. Usually death just means change, end of something, the beginning of something else, which can be really a beautiful thing, but people see it and they get a little scared. So oracle cards are just pretty and nice and fun. So, all right. So the first card, number 1. Number 1 is the celebration card, which is really, they're all pretty. So I'm always like, oh, they're all pretty. Celebration for me right now. So even when I do the oracle cards, I'm kind of just connected to this, like, I guess, higher power, and I just get kind of information downloaded. I think it's just reminding everybody who picked it to really concentrate on, like, and I feel like it's more celebrating the little things, if that makes sense. Really, and I feel like it just goes with what we've been talking about, just mindset, positive.
Absolutely. Gratitude.
Yeah. I specifically feel like it's the little things, like, and then popping in my mind right now is just like one of my life's simple pleasures is like changing the sheets on the bed, like brand new sheets, like tucked in. I don't know why I just love the sheets tucked in. Then you get into a nice, freshly made bed. Is that like, people usually are like, you're crazy.
No, that's amazing.
That, like, literally celebrate that. Like, that's how silly I feel like this card is, or not silly, but like, just, it's like the nitty gritty, like really just celebrate all the little things, because I feel like it's just because those are really the big things.
They really are, because the little things turn into big things. The more that you start looking for those positive things, the more you're going to see more positive things.
Exactly. And that's what I feel like, it's really rolling with what we've been talking about this whole episode, is that I don't even feel like it's a big celebration. Typically when people get this, I'm like, yeah, like things are happening and it's gonna be a big celebration, but that's not what I'm feeling with this card today. So anybody who picked it, I think that the universe or your past loved ones, whomever, are just really reminding you to, I don't want to say it like, no, I do want to say it, take a step back, and just be grateful and celebrate just literally, like I've already said, like just the little things in life. I don't want to say like having a niece was a little thing, because that was a pretty big thing, but I'm very, very grateful for that. But
it's kind of interesting that you picked that card first. And
yeah, I know, that's true. That is true, actually. I have a lot to celebrate today. Healthy mom, healthy baby. It's always a scary little bit there, right? Because I guess you just never know what's going to happen. But we were grateful. We do have a lot to celebrate this time around, so I'm thankful. So that was card number 1. All right, card number 2 is the love card. Oh, actually, I shouldn't even share this, but I'm going to. I had put up a funny post on my page yesterday about, like, I don't know if you saw it, but it was about, it was tarot cards, and it was like, after my friend comes to me for a relationship reading for the 8th time, and it was like the person had spelled out dump him with the tarot cards. Like, oh my God, it was cracking me up. Anyway, so that's why the love card, it just cracked me up, because that's usually what people ask me about. So the love card for everybody, this is card number 2. And again, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium. When Spirit Speaks is the name of my show on WSMN 1590. And we're here with Erin Dickson with Gravity Life Coaching. You can say hi again.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. So I'm pulling oracle cards. It's going to be my weekly thing. So number 2 is a love card. And I think that it's going to go with, and not even like I'm trying to read them this way. And that's what I love about the cards. They're different for really everybody who pulls them. I just, like, the cards mean what they mean, but I really just flow with how I feel and what spirit pops in my head to say. I feel like loving is really just going to pop down to loving yourself. I feel like this is what this card wants to tell people. Really just, I'm just like downloading information in my brain. It's like they're reminding everyone who pulled this card that I feel like it's time to give yourself a little more like self-love, whatever that may be for you. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, because people are like, I don't have the money to, and I don't have, right? That's that's not a good mindset. Just go for a walk. I mean, paint your own nails, get your nails done. I mean, I'm just thinking of things that I would want to self-love for myself. Go get your hair done, for women or men. I don't know what men do. What do men do to treat themselves?
I don't
do
know.
Men treat them? Like, what do men do?
Go shoot guns.
Yeah,
drink
there we
beer.
go. Drink beer. Go ride your 4-wheeler.
We're stereotyping.
We're totally stereotyping.
I do all those things too.
I was like, I love
Yeah.
those things too. Ride my motorcycle. I was just thinking that you probably wouldn't go get their nails done, but
Some might.
So that is true. I'm still stereotyping. This card is just reminding everybody the love card. I think it just, give a little love, but it starts with yourself is what this card wants to remind everybody. Because obviously if you're not happy, nobody else around you can be happy. I mean, I guess everybody else around you can be happy, but you're not going to be that happy with everything happening. I'm just kidding. Erin's cracking up, and then it's really cracking me up too, that I just want to keep cracking her up, which is horrible, but I can watch her on Facebook Live. So anyway, the love card, I think not that everybody's picked 1 and 2. I feel like there's a lot of people, maybe you picked 1 and 2. Like last time Joey picked all the cards, and I feel like it's funny to me. But I feel like they all flow together tonight, the celebration, the love. So let's see what the third card is. Ooh, it's the truth card.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Truth. So the card literally has like it's like two women sort of facing each other, in the sense that you've finally seen the truth in yourself, in something that's been happening around you, like in a situation, and I feel like it's like now you know what to do. Like you've seen the truth, you know what's happening, and I feel like it's like time to take some action with that card. And I feel like people for this card, you during this process or whatever is happening, what you've seen the truth in has made you this bigger person, and you have more information than you did before this happened, I guess, right? So whatever the case may be for whomever's listening, and you can just, I feel like, grow from it and then just take action. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It really does, actually.
Oh, perfect. Was that your card?
That was my card.
Perfect. Yeah, just kind of like you seeing, I don't want to say yourself for the first time, but that's what and I'm kind of just envisioning like this, I don't want to say like a shell coming off of somebody, but it's almost like that's what they just showed me, spirit and stuff like that. This person is like, no, like just kind of breaking out of this one shell that was just theirs because they don't need it anymore. Yeah, that one, I like that truth card.
That's a good one. I like it.
Yeah, I like the truth card. Yeah, the cards are great. Again, I usually do like 10 cards when I'm actually doing card readings for people. And I do half an hour readings. I do hour readings. I do private ones at my house. I can do phone readings for people. Again, I can do home parties. I did a home party at Erin's house. So she got some people together, and we sat in like a big circle, or actually stood in front of them. And just connect to spirits for a couple hours during the parties. And it was, it's a lot of fun. I had a great time at your house.
Yeah, it was a good time, man.
Yeah, it was fun. A lot of great spirits, a lot of great people. I love it. I always love just bringing spirit to the living, right? That's what I love about, obviously doing this job. I get to change some lives. Trying to get my cards together without like falling out of this chair. So Erin, all right, let's go back to you.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So I was making a list. We were talking about our favorite quotes from The Secret. What like really resonated with either of us? I'll share one of mine that I wrote down. Actually, speaking of the love card, one of the ones I wrote down was, when you do not treat yourself the way you want others to treat you, you can never change the way things are. Which is just like, I don't know, to me, that one was like, all right, I like it. I'm not sure why it resonated with me so much, but it was just like, all right, let's do this. Like, gotta change.
Well, it goes back to that love card, that self-love.
Yeah.
Really.
It really does. It's like, I mean, if I'm not treating myself literally how I want others to treat me, like if I'm making fun of myself or down talking myself or what, like others are going to do the same thing.
You're setting the expectation. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So which one, I know we were talking about, actually, we're going to take a break. I lied. So you're listening to Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium and Erin Dickson from Gravity Life Coaching. And we will be back in a few.
Thank you.
The following message is brought to you by the American Library Association.
Hello, I'm David Baldacci, author of The Sixth Man. At a time when many Americans are facing job losses and working to gain new skills, libraries are on the front lines of helping Americans get back on their feet. But just when people need their libraries the most, governments are cutting library budgets. Investing in libraries is the key to ensuring free access to lifelong learning. Get involved. Visit your library.
Title Boxing Club is the best and only authentic full-body boxing workout that changes your body, clears your mind, and completely engages your spirit. Our signature workout utilizes the fundamentals of a true boxer's workout, including proper heavy bag training to strengthen and tone your arms, legs, back, core, stamina, and your confidence. Empowering, exhilarating, and totally addictive. This is your new favorite workout class. Visit them online at TitleBoxingClub.com or call 603-206-5608. That's 206-5608 and begin today.
If you're a parent, listen closely to the voices of meningitis.
On Tuesday, Becky was sick. On Wednesday, she was gone.
I was there for my son's first breath and his last.
The infection spread so fast.
David got it when he was 13.
Terry was only 5.
Tyler lost fingers,
my kidneys,
feet,
it moved so fast.
both of my legs.
Almost his life.
I thought it was a virus. What happened?
10 toes are now none.
In just a single day, she was gone.
My son did not have to die.
The role of a parent is to protect.
Parents need to know.
Parents need to know.
Preteens and teens
are at greater risk.
Talk to your child's healthcare provider.
We are the voices of meningitis.
Join school nurses and families nationwide by adding your voice. Meningococcal meningitis may be rare, but it's often devastating. You can help prevent it. Get preteens and teens vaccinated. The National Association of School Nurses urges you to talk to your child's school nurse or healthcare provider. And visit voicesofmeningitis.org.
Hands can do incredible things. They made every sound in this piece of music, but nothing compares to using them to help save a life. If an adult suddenly collapses, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of their chest until help arrives. It's called hands-only CPR, and it's recommended by the American Heart Association. Visit handsonlycpr.org today. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
14 years ago, I crawled out of a garbage can.
Ray once was homeless, but finally his bipolar illness was diagnosed.
Well, my family was educated and it's explained to them, this is what's going on with Ray, and they realized it wasn't their fault. It wasn't my fault, that this in fact was an illness. That really served as a catalyst for my recovery.
Today, Ray manages a job, even while suffering occasional relapses.
I know recovery's possible. Nobody can tell me any different. I know it is.
Learn all you can about a family member's illness from the Mennonite Churches and Faith and Values Media.
Welcome back, guys, to When Spirit Speaks with Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium, and my friend here, Erin Dickson, with Gravity Life Coaching.
Hello.
Hey, Erin. And you're listening to WSMN, Nashua's source for news and talk. So during the break there, we actually did have a caller call in. Is he on the line there? Tommy?
Hi.
Hi, Tommy. It's Steffanie.
Hi, Steffanie.
Hi. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. So you would like a medium reading?
Sure.
All right, cool. So luckily you called during the break, so I got to cheat a little and call in your past loved ones while we were waiting. So that was working out. So I didn't have to do any music here. So probably try to go a little quicker when we're on the radio here. So, and I always tell people to write stuff down if you have a pad or paper near you.
I do not, but I can grab one.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
It's just easier because you'll be like, what did she say? Like in 10 minutes, or at least I will probably.
Right.
So, okay. So I'm just going to start chatting. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. So I have this woman here, Tommy. Okay. I got a lady for you, but, she is feeling a little older to me. At first she said 60, then she said 70, then I heard 80 when she passed away. So I'm feeling like she's more, 70, 80s when she passes away, but I feel like she's funny to the fact that usually when they tell me several different ages like that is they mean that they kind of acted a little younger than their actual age when they were here on Earth. So the woman that is here, though, she is like, I feel like she keeps. I did hear grandmother, which I don't typically say out loud because sometimes it just throws people off. But nonetheless, if she's not actually your grandmother, I feel like she's just like a grandmother figure, sort of, like a grandmother. But she keeps telling me that she had a big part in raising you specifically. So, which is, I don't know say why she's here, but that's what she kept telling me. Like she was more, she helped, raise is the word. I can't. So how I download information and I kind of just, then I can't talk. So hold on while I'm silent. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
so she looks, how she's showing herself to me, because I try to, spirit sometimes can show themselves different ages, different times, but she's like in, it sounds so like grandma stereotypical, but she's okay. So the push she's showing me, she has like an apron on, like she's cooking. I feel like she's baking. Actually, I'm going to rephrase. I feel like she's baking more than she's cooking per se, but she has the apron on nonetheless. And she has like a rolling pin in one of her hands, and she's like pointing all sassy, like with the other finger, like, while she's like chatting with us, I guess here. She's like, but it's not like she's not being mean about it. I don't think. She's just kind of pointing, like telling me what's up. Is this making sense to you at all?
No, no.
Okay, that's fine. So I do keep hearing a B name with this woman. Maybe that's why I made you write it down. So a B as in like Barbara. When I get names, so like I said, can be the first letter of their first name or the first letter of their last name.
Okay.
And I did keep hearing something heart related with this woman for her passing. And then as I said heart, I feel like she had like diabetes and stuff too. Like that was really just affecting her legs mostly, like circulation and such. She is showing me that she's a little plump, I guess, for a nice word.
Okay, yeah. I did have a grandmother that was, heavy set.
Yeah, I'm a plus size woman, so I can say that nicely. I don't mind saying plump out loud. Yeah, so I feel like she's showing me what I'm feeling about her. I feel like she had two very different sides to her, as in like she was this stern woman who got things done, and not like mean, but just matter of fact, and then the other side was just actual, and I feel like it was just, I don't want to say a lucky few, but the people she had closest to her got to see this nice, loving, I don't say beautiful soul, but that's the words that popped in my head. It's beautiful soul for this woman. Is this making sense at all?
Well, my grandmother was kind of like that, yeah. That I remember of her.
Yeah. The number 98 just popped in my head. So again, that could be a year, like 1998. She's also putting an S name in my head here. And she didn't tell me male or female, so usually they distinguish that for me. So just an S name for either male or female, or a last name that starts with an S.
Okay.
And sometimes the person can be living, just so she kind of gets you to the right person.
Yeah.
She's showing me like a bouquet of like white balloons kind of just going up into the air, which for me is just one of my symbols that means that you do something for her on her birthday. You celebrate or just have a cake or you wish her a happy birthday.
No, I don't do anything like that.
Okay. So it might not be your grandmother. Usually I get chills when people figure out who it is. So, but I still feel like she's like a grandmother. She still really made it feel like, I'm just recapping so you can write it all down. So when you figure her out, I still feel like she still had some, like help raising you somehow. I'm not maybe even just a babysitter. I'm not quite sure, but she just that was like the first thing that she popped in my head. The baking, I get that rolling pin. They've been showing me that a lot lately when they've passed down things like family passed down. I know that sounds kind of silly, but I just keep asking more people, like, does rolling pin mean anything to you? And it's kind of just meant like they've passed down either like family recipes or just family, I don't want to say traits or traditions down from, each line to the next. So sometimes I think it means baking, but then it means that. So that rolling pin, but she did have that apron on, so I'm going to roll with that. But, and as I'm saying that to you, I feel like she's even showing me like that she's like throwing like flour up into the air and stuff. Like she's having a fun time while she's baking, whatever and I like really using that rolling pin. She's like, no, I used the rolling pin. Like she's showing me as I'm trying to figure it out for you. Like she's rolling out some dough with that pin.
Yeah, my grandmother cooked a lot. That's all I can remember of her.
Okay. So yeah, this woman's really definitely rolling out. Like she's like, no, I used it. So I heard that S name again. So whenever you figure it out, the S name's important. Not that the others aren't, but the S is. And I already said 98. She did just say that again to me, so that is important as well. She's showing me this this. Like those like flags you have in front of your house, and I'm not even sure if you'll be able to remember this, but maybe you will. The flags that people have in front of their house, like the hers is like girly and cute, and it looks like it has like butterflies and like shamrocks on it.
No.
Like I mean, I'm not sure if somebody in the family would be like, "Oh my god, I remember that flag hanging." Like my parents have one out, and then they change it, like every season, right? Or every God, that's not the word I wanted. Every holiday.
Right.
So I feel like with something like that, like she's showing me one that has like butterflies and shamrocks on it. Unless somebody has those like out now, she's referencing, because as I'm saying that, maybe it's somebody living that has them out. But I still feel like they were hers. So you can check on that one. I will get a few more things here. She's showing me a white candle. So that's the same sort of thing. When I see the white candle, it just means that somebody was just, usually when I see it, it's like somebody was just thinking about her today, or asked her a question, like obviously in their head or maybe out loud, but, for some help here on earth. Or that they literally just we're lighting a candle for her today.
Right.
Or recently, this week or something.
Right.
Because she's like, yeah, like she seems like sassy, like in a fun way. She's like, I saw it happen. This candle being lit. She is showing me the number 7s. When I get numbers, it's just literally could be 7 kids, 7 something, the month of July. So birthdays, death days, anniversaries.
No, 7's my favorite number.
Oh, that's good too. Perfect. Do you have a tattoo of it someplace? She's showing me a tattoo.
I do. I have a couple of tattoos.
Okay. Of the 7? Like something 7 related though?
No, nothing 7 related.
Okay. She's showing me like after you said the 7, I heard like a tattoo of it or something to that effect. Or a lucky tattoo or something like that. Does that make any sense?
I don't have any lucky tattoos.
Okay. That's all right. That's what she's showing me, like a lucky tattoo or something to do with that 7 number.
Nope. Nothing related to that.
She's saying like she wouldn't have liked it when she was here per se, but she likes it now.
Yeah. That's my grandmother.
Yeah, she doesn't.
My grandmother was like the Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how she was.
Because and then like she's like saying like I let a few people in, like I let a few people in. I'm just trying to see what she wants to say to you. She just, what I keep hearing her say is just like to be true to yourself is what she keeps saying to me. I feel like you're maybe not listening to yourself during some sort of I don't want to say conflict, that might be a strong word, but something happening like in your life. Maybe just you're not listening to your intuition or not listening to, what you actually feel like you really should do. Maybe just because it's scary or maybe not. But she just keeps saying to be true to yourself, like what's going to, as I'm saying that, it's like what's going to benefit you the most, which can feel very selfish, she says. But this is the point you're at, that you have to take that leap, is actually what her leap of faith is how she put it. And really go. And then I'm not sure. Yeah, well, and as I said that, I could it's whatever that quote is, like, you don't know you can fly until you jump, or something like that. Like, something, you jump off a cliff, and like whatever the quote is, they're like, oh, but what if you fly? That's what she keeps showing me. You don't know you can fly until you jump. But it's really just I think that she'd like to just listen to yourself, because I'm not sure if you're doing that right now, which is really, because I feel like men actually have a lot more intuition than they take, credit for sure. So I feel like she's showing me that you already know what you need to do. So with whatever's happening with you right now, if that makes sense for you, Tommy, I hope you can take that with you.
That does make sense.
All right. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you for letting me chat with her.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
All right. You guys have a great evening.
Thank you. You too. All right. So that was Tommy. So if you're tuning in with me now, you're listening to When Spirit Speaks with Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk. And I'm here tonight with my friend Erin Dickson with Gravity Life Coaching.
Hello, Steph. Thank you.
You're welcome, Erin. It's been good so far. Thanks for being here. We've been talking a lot about some fun stuff tonight, setting intentions, talking about your module 1 and what you want with life, and really setting the bar high. We talked about setting it high, like crazy high. I feel like we should talk about that more.
Well, we were talking about quotes when we left.
That's true.
Right?
Yes. Speaking of that, what is your favorite quote?
My favorite quote is everything you always wanted is on the other side of fear. So it's everything we want is on the other side of fear. So basically, I mean, it's probably pretty obvious, but basically the only thing that holds you back from going for what you really want is the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of being judged, like all of those things. Like what if it, like what you said, what if you fly, right?
Yeah.
So that's the question to ask. So often we ask, like, what if we fail? What if we fall? What if we stumble?
Yeah.
But really you should be asking, what if you fly? What would that be like? What would it be like if you were successful?
Yeah. And I feel like most of us don't do things that scare us often. And that was like part of this radio show for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I was actually super nervous. Like I'm still kind of nervous. And that's not something that I'm never nervous. Like I can get up in front of thousands of people and like start cracking jokes. I mean, I don't usually get nervous. So that to me was like, I need to push myself out, like I need to do things that make me nervous. Cause that's when,
if you are not scared, your dream is not big enough.
Yes, exactly.
That's a good barometer. Is my dream big? I don't know. Am I comfortable? Yeah. Okay. It's not. Make it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where I get the name of my company, like Gravity Life Coaching, because it all ties into kind of rock climbing and gravity, and the fear of falling makes you, well, for me, like the analogy to rock climbing, like made me not climb as hard because I was scared to fall. So I wouldn't climb as hard, but then when you do and you let go, it's beautiful.
I still need to try that. Like you talking about it is making my chest tighten. Oh my God.
No, there you go. Oh,
yeah. I'm like, I should try it. I don't even know if I could pick myself up off that, but
it's on the other side of fear.
Yeah. So eventually here we are going to take a break. And then if anybody was still doing live calls, if anybody would like to call in, it's 603-816-1590. And we will be back in a few minutes.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
160,000 kids stay home from school every day for the same reason: bullying. This is Scott McGilvray, president of the National Education Association, New Hampshire. Bullying impacts nearly 1/3 of all students every year, but parents, educators, and concerned adults can make a difference. It takes just one caring adult to intervene and help stop the bullying. Victims need an adult that will listen, will stand up for them, and most importantly, show them they are not alone. Bullying and cyberbullying have far-reaching effects, from a decline in academic performance to physical illness, depression, or worse. Help us create a safe, bully-free learning environment for all students in New Hampshire. One caring adult can make all the difference. Take the pledge to be that adult at nea.org/bullyfree.
A message from NEA New Hampshire.
We can't ever leave mom alone. Someone always has to be with her.
Most Americans with Alzheimer's disease are cared for at home by family members.
My grandmother's Alzheimer's disease has affected my whole family. I do what I can to help. I love her, but sometimes it's just too much.
Approximately 50% of people over 85 have Alzheimer's disease. The impact on American families is overwhelming. Call 1-800-437-2423 for more information on Alzheimer's disease.
Hi, this is Tony Joyce from Joyce Cooling and Heating. Now that winter is here, hopefully your heating system is working. Did you know that a 30-year-old heating system can waste up to 50% of its energy? Don't you think it's time to upgrade your system to a new high-efficiency Lennox, Mitsubishi, or Rinnai? Starting in January, you may qualify for these energy rebates of up to $1,500. These rebates are available for a limited time, so don't wait. Call Joyce Cooling and Heating at 882-4244 or on the web at joycecool.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to When Spirit Speaks with your host, Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium, on WSMN 1590, Nashua's source for news and talk. And I'm here tonight with my friend Erin Dickson with Gravity Life Coaching.
Thank you, Steph.
You're welcome. And then we are still doing live calls, so I actually have Sue from Maine on the line. Hi, Sue.
Hello, Miss Steph.
Hi. I was like, I think I might know this, Sue. How
Yeah,
are you?
I think you might.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So you called in for a reading.
Yes, I'm hoping.
Yeah. So, you know, it's funny, and I'm going to share this just for like learning for everybody, and I feel like you're fine with it. I heard Sue from Maine, and I was like, oh, I think I know her. And then it was like the moment, like instantly I was hearing like fire. You know, like fire, pre-fire, and you have a lot of your families in fire, right?
Is in what?
In like fire department?
Yes.
Okay, so this is like, it's tough. So I'm like, this was instantly popping in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, well, I already know this lady. So I'm like, man, you know, it's like, not that I've ever done a reading for you, but just for people listening. It's like, sometimes I feel like, I'm like, am I putting these thoughts in my mind? Or, you know, like, and then I'm like, because I already know her. But anyway, so I do have a gentleman here for you, Sue.
Really?
Yeah. Are you going to write it down? You have a pad and paper and stuff? Or?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So I have this guy here next to me. He is telling me he passed away in his 50s. And I always tell people, if I'm telling you 10 or 12 things and like one thing's off, like if the age is incorrect, but the rest of them resonate with you, obviously just kind of play around with that. But so I keep hearing 50s. I keep hearing specifically 52. So I'm not sure if that was, again, like a year or his actual age. He does keep telling me his passing was like quick. I actually keep hearing the word short. So as opposed to quick, his passing was a short passing. He's not telling me how he passed, but that's how he's kind of putting it to me. So, and he's standing next to me and he is saluting me. So typically when a man's saluting me, that means they were in the, services, or I guess I don't want to say in your case, but I know I'm so bad with the outfits. I'm trying to get better. It does look like his uniform is like all blue. Does this make any sense to you so far?
No.
Okay. No worries. It seems to be the theme of the night, so I'm just going to keep rolling with it. So I keep hearing 50s, but take that with you. But I feel like he is of, I don't think that I feel like he's like older, or would have been older, right? Like of a generation, like almost like a, not like your parent, but like your grandparent or something like that, or, of that generation. His uniform looks older to me, if that makes sense to you, the one that he has on.
Okay.
And then again, I'm not sure if like cops or stuff like that, they salute as well, I believe. That's what but he just like he has his uniform on and he's saluting to me. So if it's not services, that's what he's doing. But anyway, he keeps, I feel like he's a shorter man. I keep wanting to say like 5'6" or 5'7" around there. And he is like, I feel like it is. Sorry, I'm asking him and getting a bunch of information. He is saying the same thing, like heart and chest, something related. But I feel like it. I feel like it was maybe even more toward his heart, because it's just my heart's pounding really fast right now. So something heart related with him. He is telling. So I heard like an S name. And again, I didn't hear male female that time. So an S, as in like Sam, for the first name or last name, and then I heard H as well, which I don't hear as often. And he also didn't say a male or female with him. So a name that begins with that. And again, it doesn't have to be his. It could just be somebody living that he's kind of trying.
H or an S?
Yes, both of those. Or like the last names that start with an H or an S. I mean, I see them both like hung up on, now that I say this to you, I see them like kind of hung up on a wall, almost like it's a S and an H, like, like when people get married, their first letters are there together.
Okay.
I don't know if this is going to pull you someplace, but that's how he's kind of shown it to me. Like, oh no, like they're up on the wall, like somebody just like got married and they got their S and their H up there. He keeps saying, I keep hearing him say neighbor to me. So I feel like maybe to put like, I don't want to say put your feelers out there, but that might be like nearer to his relationship kind of to you, like or somebody around you, somebody in your family.
Good Lord, I have no idea. I'm like drawing a complete
That's
blank.
okay. It's like deer in the headlights. It's fine. It happens a lot, so don't worry. That's why I tell people to write it down, and in a few days. What?
Yeah, I've only had a couple of short readings with a couple of different, a couple of people, and it's always been women. I can't imagine a guy.
Yeah, he came through really quick, actually. And I do feel like he was younger. He has this uniform on, and it does have like a cap, like he does have on, and it is blue. So again, he might just be. I don't want to say might just be like I felt like it was services because like I said, he saluted me, but it could definitely be like a cop or something like that. But he definitely, and my heart's pounding a lot, so he definitely had something. And I just feel like it was quick, and I feel like it even was like heart, like like a heart attack or something like that, like just something quick like that.
Okay.
So when you figure him out, I feel like the S and the H that are hanging on the wall in somebody's house are going to be like the, oh my gosh, like the so-and-sos, so-and-so just got married, and that's on their wall. I'm trying to get some more info from him so I can get you actually to the right. He's showing me like playing horseshoes.
Horseshoes?
Horseshoes. Mm-hmm. I feel like I keep wanting to put him in this older generation, but then I feel like I keep seeing like you at like this age around him, You know, because typically like they show me like you as like a little girl around them, you know, if they were gone that, you know, if you knew them when you were little, but like you, to me, you look the same age as he does, you know, when he passed, sort of thing. So like as an adult for you at least, and this man. So I feel like you were like wherever, if you've played horseshoes someplace, I feel like it's in a public place.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I've never really played horseshoes.
Okay. That's what he's showing me. And if it doesn't feel like it's at like a home, it feels like it's at, I don't want to say it's at like a bar, but I feel like it's just out and, you know, at a public place.
Like a campground?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I feel like there's other, it's not a house by any means.
Or a fair or something?
Yeah, there's other people there at this place. It's definitely a public. All right, let me get a few more things. But I keep asking if you know him, and he is saying yes.
He's saying yes.
Yes, you do know him.
His name wouldn't be Elmo, would it?
No, I heard no. So
no.
But I feel like the horseshoe has several different meanings when you figure that out as well. Even to the point where this marriage that we don't know about, that I'm talking about, it might even had like a horse theme or like a country, you know, theme to it. Like I keep seeing these horseshoes like everywhere, like
really?
Like centerpieces or something, you know, like just like a theme like that, country western sort of thing. And he's almost like shaking his head that you don't know who he is, but that's fine. In like a week, I feel like you figure him out. Okay, so
I didn't get that last part.
I'm just like talking to myself. Just trying to, I'm going to ask him a couple more things and try to get a quick little message here before the time's up. He's talking about, like, he's showing me like target practice with like different guns. Like it was like a pistol first, and then it was like a rifle next. And he like, I can see the targets. And it looks like it's the same sort of thing. Like there's several people there. Like it's not just him. Like there's several targets lined up, if that makes sense. But I feel like it's outside still. I don't feel like you're in a building.
Yeah, no, I've never, the only person I've ever target practiced with or shot with would be my father, and he's not dead.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not him. Okay. So that's fine. So then I always tell people to like think about like in-laws and then like your best friends and stuff like that. So, even if you met this man at a wedding, you know, like 10 years ago, I don't know, spirit's just amazing sometimes. So, let me see what he has to say for why he's here, because I fully trust that they all come in for a reason. So, as I say that, so he's like showing me this, however you know him. So it might be like a friend's relative or something like that. I feel like however you know him, he's showing me like you and this person are holding like a like, let's just say a rope, but it's just been pulled really, really, like it's almost like your friendship. It's been pulled really, really, really tight, and it's just really frail. Like this friendship, like it's still there. And he's saying it's worth, like it's salvageable, you know, like it's worth mending is actually the word that he used. And I'm going to say mending in like I think you mend horses as well. I feel like this going back to all of these things together.
Is his name, ask him if his name is Ralph.
Did he have a nickname though? I heard a nickname. Like after you said that name, I heard like, but it's a nickname. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay, that's what I heard after. Like he
him,
went by his nickname is how I felt from it.
His nickname. Like
if it wasn't, you know, like however you might have just known him by his nickname as opposed to his actual name, if that's how he's. He keeps saying, though, I know we're almost done with the hour, but he keeps talking about like this friend and the rope that being pulled, and you can mend it together, and then to be concentrating on like mending the right right people, like the right ropes, the right friends, and cutting the other ones, like mending the right ones and cutting the right ones go, or letting does it make sense? Letting the right people go, or I guess the wrong people go, but the bad people. I feel like right now he looks like to me like they're all like tied up for you. I'm not sure if you're having a problem with keeping the right people in your life. But that's what he keeps showing it to me. One of the people I think are just that are going to know him as well. And not that I always tell people, like, I don't want to put pressure on you to ask this person, like, I talked to a medium and we talked to your dead so-and-so, but it was a sign. But that's how he keeps showing it to me. Like I'm hearing like Rocky, like I don't know if that's his nickname or if that means something, like whenever you figure out who he is, but like I watched Rocky, like the movie last night, so that popped in my head too. So everything flows together. But I heard Rocky. Like his nickname would be something to that effect. But anyway, Sue, I hope you got all that. I know it was like a lot, just throwing it all out.
I wrote a lot down, but I'm like at a complete loss.
That's okay. It happens a lot. I trust you'll figure out who it is. Oh, nice.
Ask him if his name is Tim.
He's like literally said that's too plain. That's what I heard. That's too plain. I think he had a fun nickname, like like Rocky, or like that's why I was like, this nickname was good, and I feel like that was just what he like. I don't even know if anybody even remembered his name. Is kind of how he's showing it, or like telling me. But,
Okay.
But
wow.
Yeah. All right, we'll figure out. I know you'll figure out who he is, but I appreciate you calling in.
Well, thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Sue.
Thanks.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Bye. Awesome. All right, that was Sue. I have a few minutes left, I know. Thanks everybody for calling in. That was awesome. I feel like it was tonight I had this weird feeling, maybe because I'm psychic, that the calls would be a little like off, but not bad. People usually figure out who I have. I have no I don't it's like they talk about ego with mediumship. Like I don't need to know that I have the right person, because I know that I have the right person. So, and spirit knows I trust them. So this week, what are your goals this week, Erin?
Goals this week?
Yeah, I don't know, popped in my head. I'm rolling with it.
All right. My goal this week would be to stay positive and to stay focused.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I feel like, it sounds like easy, but not all at the same time.
No, it's a lot of work, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess who doesn't, right?
Exactly. We're busy people. We're humans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to actually write my list. That's my goal for this week.
Mm-hmm.
Write my list of goals. I talked about it last week and I meant to, but it's really making me really think. I've been I want to be a motivational speaker. That was going to be on my list, which I think I wrote on when I was with you too.
Fun. I think you did.
I think I did at one point. It was like, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to get there or what I'm even going to talk about. But
vision board. Make sure you put it on your vision board.
And I have to make another vision board as well. But yeah, that's part of my goals this week. Baby steps. I always say baby steps. It's like the only way I get anywhere.
Right.
But it's always, you always say it's moving. You're still moving forward if you're taking baby steps. That's one of the things I love about.
Oh yeah.
Your thing. So while the show's wrapping up here, I really do appreciate you being on my show this week, Erin.
I appreciate being here. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. So quickly again, for anybody listening, just plug in my vendor bingo again before the hour is out. This weekend, Sunday, 1 to 4, American Legion in Hudson. I'm doing a vendor bingo to raise money for this charity, Lori's Ride, which raises money for New Hampshire Breast Cancer Coalition. So we actually help women right here in New Hampshire struggling, having chemo and can't pay their bills. So it's a really nice thing to give back to the strong women of New Hampshire. And I think they actually do some in Mass as well, but that's this Sunday from 1 to 4. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Again, it's Steffanie Damboise Psychic Medium with When Spirit Speaks, and Erin Dickson with Gravity Life Coaching. I like to say coaching.
Thank you.
You're welcome on WSMN 1590.